Today we will be presenting our journey and our research. So our journey began when we were introduced to the FLL and the challenge robotics. Our journey has been so far good, and I've met these people I can call my brothers now, and we were given the first task, and our first task was to give our group a name, and we chose the Cyberstorm because we believe that our team is very powerful in technology and it can bring power to storm. And we chose our topic, and our topic was saying what tools can the archaeologist use? What tools can the archaeologist use to without damaging fragile and big objects or artifacts?
So to understand more about this topic, we had an interview with Lady Lanka, who told us more about the topic and the artifact that archaeologists already use and the challenges that come with the artifacts. And then we had some questions like the first question that we had was how to start an excavation. So when starting an excavation, she told us when starting an excavation, you don't just like say, okay, I want to excavate here, so I should bring my tools and excavate here. You should like use tools like GPR to conduct a background research on that particular place. So that gave us an idea of our solution, and we organized a trip to Camel Caves. When we were there, we saw like how small, like how delicate the components are. Meaning that in our solution we have to build something that can go through small spaces without like damaging what's already there or damaging the artifacts.
So the solution that we came up with, it was a robot powered machine which uses AI and also has sensors in the robot arms to make sure that there are less mistakes, and also it has a detached connect crane, which means if you want to use a brush now, you can just simply go to the robot and take out what was already there and simply put a brush, and then you can use a brush. If you want to take out like objects, you can just detach and connect, and you can excavate your artifacts easily. present our research using this process or this event. So this president told us that things that we must do when we are presenting here. So she told us we must become patient and all of so our research, I was like, I want to get more information during here. So our research were like, our archaeologists, or our archaeologists,
Our journey inside us was first teamwork, research, and innovations. We believe that our solution can help archaeologists protect the past while inspiring the critics for the real world of
Thank you. We allowed. Okay, thank you. Thank you very much, guys. I'm glad you got to the end. Can I ask you a question? Are you guys friends? Are you friends all together? Yeah, I could see. You are all shy, very, very, very shy. Like, friends, they get to meet like that. Really, the storm was missing. We need that storm, guys. You can't decide a storm and then there's no storm. We need a storm. First, the introduction of the name was very late. Okay? You introduce yourself, you introduce the group, then you say other stuff. So you say other stuff, then you introduce the name of the group. That was very late. And from the second speaker, the volume was like on 1. We could not hear anything, guys. We were very, very, very soft. So I won't repeat the other stuff about projection and other stuff, but I want to give you a few advice as an actor. So as an actor, I will stand there. So if you want to speak to the people and you want them to see you, you see the sign there, you look at that sign, you speak over their head. Okay? They will think you are speaking to them. So do that, and you can always like warm up your tongues, like your mouth, so that the words can just come out, okay? So if you try to do those guys, you will make it. Alright, thank you.
Presentation wasn't actually audible, we couldn't hear you. Yes, it is. I would advise you to just maybe work on your projection. It's too quiet. I guess since you're playing what you say, birds of a feather, as they say. So you are someone needs to be like me or us, like in front of you. We need to think about something because you all look very nervous. And I think when one of you was speaking, it was like you were reciting your words out of your head, so you were looking up, recalling from memory what you need to say more than it was a presentation. So I think just focus on that, how you engage with the audience. And yeah, just bring more energy. Your name is very powerful as you intended. So what you've done by choosing such a name is creating expectations about your energy. Don't let it fall flat when you walk into the room. They need to feel like, just before a storm's brewing, people get nervous, they need to feel that anticipation. Don't let it fall flat. So, on to your solution. I understand what you're trying to do, but now remember when you went to the cave, the tour guide said that some person got stuck now. and they had to be oiled out of there. So my question is, if your tool requires the actual excavation element at the tip of the arm to be manually changed, how is that going to help when it's being sent into a space where that person can't get into to change the tool? Is it not possible for you to maybe think of a rotating arm where all of those parts are already attached, and then the person controlling your robot, sending it into a small high where no one can fit, and then they just, like a video game, switch to the brush, switch to the zero to the brush, and control it like that. So maybe rethink the design, because you're going to find some people having to bring out that robot, put the brush attachment, then go all the way back. What if in that robot coming out is closed, wherever you were digging, and now you need to bring it back to dig, and then every time it's back and forth, you never get as far as actually using the other tool. So maybe think of a rotating arm that whole thing can be controlled remotely. And then maybe also give an interface like designers, who I think it was the marine archaeology team. I told them maybe think about what that app would look like for the person controlling if you are sending in a space where a human can't fit, to actually manually handle that. So let it also have maybe a camera somewhere where the person can see, okay, we've gotten to this level, maybe some sensors to see how far you get, and then okay, it's time to switch to the brush or to the pick or to whatever, and then you need something to extract as well. So you need to think about really what do you want that thing to do, and how holistically now it doesn't need to solve the problem. It's there, but it's not all the way there. Okay. Thank you.
Silas. I didn't quite get what is special about your invention or the things that are already being used. Because the second speaker mentioned that there are troughs and brushes that they use to ensure that it's artifacts, they're not breaking them and all of that. You see? But then you didn't necessarily. Okay. When I heard you saying that, I was like, oh, okay, we're doing it once, so there's no problem. Do you understand? And now you come in with your invention and you're saying that we can just change the brushes and whatever. But why is it so special about your invention? Like how does it address the problem of the fact that when we're excavating, we sometimes do that and we damage the artifacts along the way. So how is your invention making sure that the artifacts are not being damaged? Because now you're saying that we're using the brushes were already being used. So what is special about your invention? Like what is it addressing? Do you understand? And I also think with your I'm going to say airtime, but with the time that you have with the presentation, you need to focus more on giving us the information with your invention and not necessarily focus more on the story, in a sense of like your background story and your references. Because I felt like there was no flow. Sometimes you're talking about the tools, and then you're talking about, okay, we went to, or we got advice from this and this and that. But you need to kind of like link it to your invention and not necessarily focus more time on like your background story, like, oh, we are friends, whatever. But give us more information about your invention. Convince me why I must go and get that invention and not use my brush. Do you understand? Because you also spoke about not being able to get into tight spaces. Now, if you have a big invention like that, how is it going to go into tight spaces? So you see, so you need to come up or look for a problem. The problem is we need to excavate these artifacts without damaging them. There are tools that are already there, but why is it that these tools feel like they're not doing the job well? You see? So we believe that no, the brush, we can excavate with the brush, but the problem with the brush is that it's going to damage the artifact. How? You need to compare the things that are already here with your invention so that you can show us why your invention is special. Do you understand? But other than that, yeah, the invention, you need to be more, you need to project it. Okay? And I understand you may not necessarily be people who like being big crowds, but you need to work on that. So, thank you. Silas Storm.
You know, there's not a, I don't know if there's a name that is impressed you today. I'm sorry to say. It doesn't, a name of a group has to tell us what it's about. It has to give us an idea. And then if it has to be a storm, you can lower that paper. Shame, I feel sorry for your arms. I really feel sorry for your arms. And you all know, everybody here knows that that is not okay. It should be four different ones. It's another essay. And by the way, Owetu, actually, yeah, I know you. I know you. You weren't really making good eye contact. You're looking out of the door there, and then sometimes you look up to the floor. So don't do that. You minimize me as a person and the whole audience. Start thinking about it that way. You're not acknowledging human beings when you don't look at them. Then, I don't want to hear stories of how your teacher told you, or the person told you that you must do this and you must speak up. You must just do it. Like Nike, just do it. Yeah. Don't come and tell us, my teacher said I must speak up and I must do. You must then now speak up. So what's the story? Right? And then I was sitting there and this guy was standing with this big poster. And you were showing us or trying to show us how this thing is working. It's got a little arm and you were making all kinds of gestures. Wasting our time, because why do you want me to using my imagination when you could just have pointed me to the, afterwards I only saw, oh, there's a diagram of the whole thing, right? So please connect those little dots for me. Your ending, I didn't know you ended. You said, you read from the poster, we can all read that. You don't have to read anything, because it's like a person who has a presentation and then they just read everything there. I always say, send it to me, email it to me, I can read it at home. Because if you have a presentation, you have a presentation. Don't look it to me, I can read. So you were supposed to speak out of passion. Not one of you has passion for your subject. Get passion or find a different topic. That's my real bottom line. You don't have passion. So either you're not interested or you were too stumped by your nerves and your brain. So we'll have to work on that. But there's room for improvement. There's always room for improvement. And I'm sure you can do it. Okay? Thank you.
Thank you very much.